Whenever you listen to a podcast, you need to be sure that the podcast you choose is suitable for the audience at home. To help you, there are certificates given to podcasts to let you know what the podcast is like. You Know It has been certified as 18. An 18-rated podcast will certainly have an adult theme and may well contain sex or violence, which could be quite graphic. It may also contain some very explicit language, which will frequently mean sexual swear words. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the podcast.
Hello and welcome to You Know It. How you doing, Nick?
I'm not too bad. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we recorded one of these?
It has been a little while. Yeah, well, you know, festivals and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think my notes were ready about a month ago, but then you had download, you've had, you know, all sorts of stuff going on.
Dunk and
Yeah, so it's been a busy old month, but we're here talking about March 1990.
vintage year.
They're all vintage years on this show. That is what we do. So the Official Secrets Act 1989 has come into force. We have 37 people arrested and 10 police officers injured in Brixton. There was rioting against a new community charge. Not the only riots we will have this month.
True.
Ambulance crew disputes. It's finally over. The workers agree to a 17.6% pay rise. Unemployment is now down, which is, you know, that's nice. It's the lowest since 1978. But, you know, there's concern for the future. Recession is looming.
Ooh.
And probably the biggest news I've got is the poll tax riots. 200,000 people protesting in London. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
I found that online. It's actually called the Battle of Trafalgar Square.
Yeah, it is. Have you? Because I was too young.
I basically remembered it.
Looking at like pictures and video of it, it's mental.
Yeah,
it's crazy seeing that many people.
Yeah,
rioting. It's like wow.
It just feel like we're a bit of a time loop because we've got ambulances, riots.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the moment, France is in total chaos. So yeah, it is. It kind of comes in cycles. It feels like, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. I've got some international news.
Oh, go on.
International news.
I only did the UK, so
right.
Yeah.
March the 8th was the start of the Nintendo World Championships.
Oh, was it? Nice.
Yeah. So that went across the entire year. I want to know is, did they get the Power Glove if they won?
I don't know what. I think it was cash, wasn't it?
Gold cartridge? Was that gold cartridges?
Gold cartridge is number one prize plus. I think you got cash. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I imagine that'd be like they should. I wish they did that these days. I wouldn't win because I'm not very good at games anymore, but I would watch it on TV.
I would definitely watch that.
On March the 11th, Lithuania finally declares independence from the Soviet Union.
Yeah,
which is like a big thing back
huge.
Then.
Yeah.
And on the 13th of March, Gorbachev comes in, becomes the first president of the Soviet Union. He changed the rules so he could be president.
Yeah.
Then 2 days later...
It helps if you can change the rules.
He changed the rules. 2 days later, he was like, Lithuania, that's invalid. You're not leaving. You're coming back now.
Yeah.
So he pulled them back, so they couldn't go, which is a bit of a shame, really. I think eventually, later on in the year, which we'll probably find out, they do escape. Also, March 20th, do you remember Imelda Marcos? Have you ever heard of her?
Don't think so.
She was the president's wife.
Right.
In one, I can't remember. I should do more research in one of the countries. I think it was the Philippines, but she was legendary for having the most shoes owned by a single person in the world.
What? Sorry, the most shoes owned by a single person in the world.
Yeah, she had shoes upon shoes upon shoes.
I mean, maybe if I guess you're shoe obsessed, right? Yeah. I can't think of a shitter title right now to have.
Shoe Queen?
Shoe Queen. Queen of shoes.
But she went on trial. I think there's a lot of corruption going back then.
What shoes? Did she wear different shoes to every trial?
I'd hope she wore
every day
a different shoe on each foot for each day she was in court.
Brilliant, yeah.
But obviously the same like heels or whatever. Just want to fall over. March the 26th, Driving Miss Daisy wins that Oscar for Best Film. We talked
and rightly so. I mean, it's still in the cinema as we go into March.
I think we spoke about it a lot last month. It was a great film.
It. I think it premiered last month in the UK. Tremendous film.
That is my news.
Oh yeah. So that's all the news that I've got as well. I selfishly only cared about the UK. So,
that's
we're
just selfish. Me. I don't mind. It just came up. I was like, "Oh, that might be quite interesting."
No, that is really interesting. It's good to set the scene.
Yeah.
Because all we're going to talk about now is crap. So,
exactly.
We'll do the serious stuff in the first 5 minutes, and then we'll just talk crap for the rest of the show. What crap would you like to talk first?
Oh, should we jump on the music? We always do music, don't we?
We can jump on the music first of all. So
we're talking like number ones in March 1990.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of these, both of these. That'd Be Good to Me is still number one.
Yeah.
Beats International.
Yeah.
I heard that at the weekend randomly. Someone was playing it.
Oh, that's weird.
It's
because that's been number one since February, right?
Yeah, I think it took over from Sinead O'Connor.
It did.
Yeah.
Towards the end of February, I think.
And also The Power by Snap, which you've probably heard of as well.
Yeah.
Big tunes. The only two number ones there. I've also got some big tracks hanging around.
There are some big tracks in that top 10.
Hanging around the charts. I've got like Depeche Mode, Enjoy the Silence.
Yeah.
I got Ram Jam with Black Betty, a remix. I don't know if that's... When did Black Betty come out? I thought it was 70s or 80s.
Yeah, it was. It was probably just a remaster or a remix of some kind.
It's probably going to be
B-52s, Love Shack.
Yep. Love Shack's there. I've got it as a sort of newish release. I've got some other new releases. Tell me if you've heard of any of these. They're not the best.
Okay.
Erasure, Blue Savannah. I've heard of that. Yeah. Bros, Madly in Love. Never heard of that.
I feel like if I heard it, I might be like, oh yeah, I've heard that song before, but I couldn't tell you.
I don't think I would.
Yeah.
Jive Bunny. That sounds good to me. A bit of Jive Bunny. When I found this out, I listened to a bit of Jive Bunny on my on Spotify. And I was like, oh, Jive Bunny. And then I realised it wasn't great. Then
some things need to... I know we're doing a nostalgia show, so I probably shouldn't say this. Some things should stay in your memory.
Yeah.
When you revisit things, it's not always good.
And I thought it was like these real technical people. It's like some people up north who used to like put records together as compilations and were a Jive Bunny. I thought it was like some international DJ. There's a couple of people from up north.
Yeah, well,
we also got Big Fun. I think they were from Manchester. They were a little pop act with a handful of promises.
Mm-hmm.
In Spiral Carpet, This Is How It Feels. That's a big indie tune. It's got 19 million listens on Spotify still.
Wow.
Not big. I remember this one from school. There's a cover of Strawberry Fields.
Yes.
Candy Flip.
Yes. Strawberry Fields Forever, yeah.
Something I got like pops up in my head. I read that. I was like, I know that song.
Yeah.
I tried to find it online. YouTubed it, had a little listen to it.
Mm.
Obviously, the Snap, The Power, 47 million listens on Spotify.
How's Michael Bolton getting on?
He's
still in the charts here. He's number 8 in March.
Yeah, he won't go away, will he?
How am I supposed to live without you? How are we supposed to live without him?
He's forever there. I think if I could choose, Michael Bolton would be in the charts all the time.
Well, I think... I don't know how much he's going to come up in the rest of the 90s. I guess we'll find out. I'm trying to think whether he had... I mean, he certainly had a few hits
Steel
through the
Bars?
90s. Yeah, that might be.
And that's the only two I can think of, actually, so that's quite bad. The only other single track, UB40, Kingston Town.
Nice. Now, that is a classic of my childhood. I remember that song.
I think I've probably told this story a million times to a million people, but I've got a really good UB40 story. It doesn't affect the 90s, though, so I'll have to tell you afterwards.
Oh, well, you can tell us now.
Basically, I was DJing in the Hatchet.
I don't think you can drop that and then not tell us. So you were DJing a pub.
I was in the Hatchet, about to start DJing. I said to this guy, in about 10 minutes, I just need to set up there. So if you mind moving in 10 minutes? And he's like saying some mumbling to himself. And I thought, whatever, mate. Went back over like, mate, I really need to set up here now. He goes, I'm a professional, you're a professional, you wait. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm the roadie with UB40.
The roadie with UB40?
Because they were playing over the road. And I was like, oh, fair enough, mate, but I really need to set up. Do you mind moving to that table? He was trying to impress these old ladies. And I was like, I just need to set up. I don't care, mate. And then he said something. I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? He said, oh, you can fuck off, you fat prick. And I went, 2 seconds. I went and got the door staff. You knew the door staff from the Hatchet at the time.
I remember the door staff.
They walked in and they picked him up and they carried him out like a handbag. So he was on his side, one leg, one arm, and they threw him out.
Wow. And I hope he was still well enough to do his job.
I don't know. I went outside, waved at him, as I do. Cause
it's a weird thing how, like, I don't know. I don't get the job thing.
Yeah.
When people are like, "Oh my god," it's like I thought you were going to tell me that he was in UB40, which would be something of merit. But it's like, no, I'm the roadie for the famous guys. Like, oh, okay, so you help move stuff for the famous guys. Not that I'm like downplaying roadies or people I know roadies, right? That do that work. But it's weird that was like a thing. He was like, "Don't you know who I am?"
He wasn't even the rat in the kitchen. He was just a roadie. And I remember his mate coming back going, "Where's my mate gone?" He went, "Oh, we chucked him out." He was saying, he's a prick, yeah. And I always stick with me. Like, I got the roadie from UB40 chucked out because he was abusive to me.
Well, if someone's abusive, they need to go. I think that is fair enough.
That is good. Have you got any other singles coming out at that time?
I do have the Brits 1990, which I think is a compilation.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what that was.
That's in the charts at number 9. I didn't actually listen to it though, so I don't know quite what it is. Erasure, as you said. I think that's all I've got here. Guru Josh Infinity is still hanging around in at number 10. But yeah, that's it. And obviously, New Kids on the Block. Did we say New Kids on the Block?
I think we mentioned them a couple.
I'll
of
be
times.
loving you forever. It was last month, but it's still there. Still doing all right.
It's still on. Should we pop onto the albums?
I don't have the albums, so you give me the albums. Yeah.
Obviously, back in the 90s, not much was coming out at this time of month. This time of the year, even. So we've got Phil Collins with "But Seriously," which is a good album.
It is a good album.
Yep. And then he got knocked off the charts by Sinead O'Connor with her album that had...
I think rightly so. It's a hell of an album.
She was big at the time.
Yeah.
But then she didn't last long. She got knocked off by Bowie with Changes, which is a compilation of or a remaster.
Uh-huh.
Some more tracks. So, that was the only ones there. A couple of album new releases. You might have heard of some of these. Michael Bolton's Soul Provider.
Yeah.
Thunder. Backstreet Symphony.
Oh, that is a classic Thunder album.
I don't know anything on that, but I probably...
you'd know Backstreet Symphony if you heard it. Yeah.
Barry Manilow, Live on Broadway, which is the big metal track of the month. Depeche Mode with Violator, which is a massive difference compared to all the early Depeche Mode stuff. Is all pop and all fun.
Yeah,
I think this is the heroin years when he went.
Yeah,
a bit lost it a bit and went crazy. Probably got lost in America doing plenty of weird stuff that we should probably never ever talk about online.
Gave us an interesting album, didn't it?
He did, yeah. And the B-52s released an album as well, which had Love Shack on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my music countdown for the March 1990.
For March of 1990. What would you like to move on to next?
Oh, I don't know. Should we hit a bit of TV news?
We could go over to the TV.
You've got quite a bit there. Go with your TV news. I'll just join in as you go along.
All right. Well, this is an interesting one. So, in March of 1990, we have the final episode of Blankety Blank presented by Les Dawson on BBC One. Also in March 1990, we have the return of Opportunity Knocks on BBC One with Les Dawson. So they obviously just were like, well, you're not got this show anymore, but we're going to bring back this old show and have you on that. You can only do one show at a time, Les. Don't be greedy.
Yeah, only one 80s themed show at a time.
Yes,
for you to do.
You can't. Yeah, and now, of course, Blankety Blank would come back with Lily Savage, but we will not be talking about that until 1997. Yeah. Because that's when that's how long they left it before they decided, actually, maybe Blankety Blank needs to come back.
There's a bit of a difference between Les Dawson and Lily Savage. It probably tells you how much the country changed in 7 years.
That's true, yeah. British satellite broadcasting launches on cable, which is like the rival to Sky, which obviously launched the previous year in the UK. And then we get the first of 2 flashback episodes in EastEnders. I'm guessing you've covered this.
I got some info on this. I know about Frank goes looking for his daughter.
Yeah.
You never used to get flashback episodes back then, did you? It was like, I think
This was a relatively new thing with the flashback episodes, and then nowadays they do flash forwards.
Yeah,
which is
and
quite,
they do dreams as well. I don't get TV shows doing dreams.
Well, we'll get to a pivotal dream later in the 90s.
Oh yeah, it's the best one ever. We can't talk about that yet.
No, we can't talk about that yet because we would talk about nothing else.
Yeah, except for that one now. I've also got John Major did the first ever budget on TV.
Yeah, live, right?
Yeah, I used to remember Spitting Image always had John Major as Grey, and just eating peas. Yeah, because he was that boring. Yeah, and had his wife on there. I was like, Spitting Image used to just destroy people.
Spitting Image was just amazing for its time. I have really fond memories of seeing that as a kid because my parents used to watch it. Really funny show. I think they did try and bring that back recently, and it's just not. It's not the same. It's just not the same.
No, I think it was a part of its time because
it absolutely was.
Do you remember Hold a Chicken in the Air? I'd probably say that's 80s now.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. I probably got it on my laptop somewhere, which is quite embarrassing. Trying to get all the worst songs in the world on there. That's all I've really got with some news. I've got some soaps to talk about.
Yeah, give us some soaps.
And I got a Friday rundown for a random Friday in March on BBC.
Oh, okay. What is it, like a solid Friday?
It's a solid Friday. There's something gone between 6 and midnight.
Right.
And I'm going to start this. It starts at 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
All right,
on a Friday morning.
Okay, pre-work. It's before school.
CFAX.
Of course.
Why would you have CFAX on?
CFAX is always on in the morning.
I know, but
you used to get the. It was either CFAX. I think it used to be the test screen, and then you had CFAX for an hour.
Yeah.
And then you got some cartoons for the kids.
Well, so CFAX at 6.
Yeah.
6:30 is breakfast news.
Right.
Then 8:55, there's more news.
Right. This is the late morning news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 9 a.m.
What's happened between 6:30 and 8 a.m. that we need to talk about now?
I don't know, but do you know what happens at 9 a.m. as well?
Is it the late morning news?
It is.
Wow.
More news.
That's good.
Only on for 20 minutes.
Have you been watching? Is this the news channel that you got the?
No, this is legit BBC One.
Okay.
I worked out how much news they are on there, and you're going to be shocked.
This is why kids didn't watch BBC back then. I mean, good lord, that's like.
I reckon the days.
I want to watch cartoons. You'd have cartoons on for the kids before school. That's come on.
I was going to work out mathematically how much news there was in the day, but I might save it for afterwards because it's silly.
Do a sub.
So 20:09, we got Kilroy.
Kilroy.
Early.
It was an early chat show.
Yeah.
It was very. It is very tame in comparison to what would come later in the 90s. But Kilroy, I remember. He used to talk. I always remember he just used to interview old ladies.
Yeah.
That's all I ever remember of that show.
Very smarmy, wasn't he?
He was a bit...
a used car salesman.
Yeah.
So when that finishes at 10, we have to see if anything else has happened in the news, because the news is back on.
Uh-huh.
For another 25 minutes, because we've not had any news today.
Something might have happened in the last 25 minutes, Nick.
Then we're going in with a big banger, Playdays.
All right, now you're talking.
Which was the original version of Playbus.
Yeah, I remember Playdays.
Yeah, so that was a quite a big one.
Mm-hmm.
But then the one we all really like, after that at 10:50, Jimbo and the Jet Set.
Nice.
Give me your memories of Jimbo if you have any.
I don't really have any. I remember it being on. I think I was a bit young, so I have Playdays. I have vague memories of it being on, but not firm memories. Tell me yours.
I just remember watching it. I can't remember
Okay.
So I'd probably been 12 at the time, so I was watching it years before.
Uh-huh.
But he was always happy. And what I didn't realise, the episode's only 5 minutes long. In my head, cartoons used to be really long, apart from Transformers. Because that was always like really short.
Yeah.
But all these cartoons and things, they're 5-10 minutes long.
Yeah, I guess kids' attention span and stuff is a bit different.
And this, and we want to have some news on, so they probably bring it down for a bit, have a bit of news. So 5 minutes later, there's a program called 5 to 11, which I couldn't find anything about. No.
I wonder what time it was on.
5 to 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when we get to 11 o'clock, we've actually got more news.
Have we? Well, you never know what's happened in that amount of time.
So we've got an hour's worth of news. So hour's worth of news. So we get to 12 o'clock. Do you know what we've got? More news. There is more news. It doesn't change.
Who is watching this news?
I don't know. And then
I feel like if I was head of programming for the BBC on this Friday that's coming up here, I would have thought you do the morning news for sure. Yeah. Then you do some stuff for kids, the kids that need to go to school. The kids that are staying at home, you're presumably going to have a parent staying at home to look after the kids. Put some entertainment on for the kids, distract the kids. Kilroy, I get, something for the parent to watch. But this constant news, I'm not understanding who this is for.
I had to double check 2 websites for this because I was like, is that right? It can't be right. So when we get to 5 to 1, it's regional news or whatever.
All right.
And I said, what do you reckon we got at 1 o'clock?
Oh, God, that was all local news? Or was that was international?
It's all news, random news.
Okay.
And what do you reckon we got at 1 o'clock? For half an hour.
For half an hour? I don't know.
The 1 o'clock news.
Oh, my God.
That is literally news for over 2.5 hours.
This is mental.
It is. But 1:30, Neighbours is here.
Okay, we're getting somewhere now.
Neighbours is here. 20 minutes. The first of two. Like they have obviously show the episode twice a day.
Yeah.
For the and
In between news.
Yeah, I think it was so popular they put it on in the evening as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean the alternative is news apparently. So
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen any news today. Have you? Then there's a program on. I think it must be a film called Only Angels Have Wings. I can imagine that was pretty
sounds
awful.
Vaguely familiar, but yeah, I couldn't tell you what it's about.
Yeah. But then the big ones kick in 5 to 4.
All right, okay, so now we're getting post school.
Yeah.
Right? Kids are coming back from school now. Need to entertain them while we're making food.
Right, there we go. 4:05. Banana Man.
Nice.
Banana Man was great.
Banana Man was fantastic, yes.
5 minutes long. Again.
Yeah, they're all short.
I didn't even notice. I bet like I go look at everything, it'd be 5 minutes long.
Yeah, well, things like Danger Mouse and stuff was really short as well, right?
Yeah.
They're all really short.
Short attention span, like you said.
Yeah. Do you know it's weird? I went to visit my nan last week, and I had some time because she was like she wasn't up, and so I spent some time in the area where I used to live as a kid, and it's an area I haven't been to since probably the 90s, early 2000s. Some of those areas, and it's really weird how like you're saying like with TV shows, like 5 minute attention span. You used to think that show was really long. Distance, man. Distance when you were a kid versus distance when you were an adult. I was like, can I walk that far? Like before I need to see my nan, I'm like, maybe I could do that. That's probably about a 15-minute walk. It was like a 2-minute walk. Like it's like adult legs versus child legs. I was like, wow, everything's really close. Like everything I used to think was like miles away. Super close. Anyway, sorry. Right, continue.
Right. There's going to be more news coming, so that's a surprise.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to break up the news.
Right, 10 minutes past 4.
Yeah.
What's the Story, which is like a local BBC type boring thing that no one really wanted to watch. Then we hit 25 past 4, the new Yogi Bear show.
The new Yogi Bear show?
Yeah, I got this thing, and I hate it when they put new in front of cartoons.
Yeah, me too. You know it's rubbish.
They did with like new Scooby-Doo, didn't they?
Yeah.
I just think it's like you're trying to modernize it.
I only remember the original. I don't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to do that, you've run out.
I agree.
Put Thundercats on if you're going to do that.
just put Thundercats on repeat.
Then they got like a program for like kids that are learning called I Spy.
Okay.
That's on for 25 minutes before we get to John Craven's news round at 5 o'clock.
Oh my goodness. So it's got to wrap up all the day's news.
For kids, mind. So there'd be boring stories about like nature and birds that have been caught or flying away. It was never interesting. I used to hate news round.
Some kid did a school project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's on TV. It's like, get him off, put the proper news back on.
Put the cartoons on. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like 25 minutes of cartoons we could have had. Then Neighbours is back on again.
Wow, yeah. This is the same episode.
Yeah, same episode again, but for people who couldn't watch it because they were at work or not a student. Then there's more news at 6 o'clock.
Well, the 6 o'clock news, I understand. That's a staple of TV.
All right, then followed by 6:30 by regional news.
Oh, my goodness.
Then it gets a bit better. 7 o'clock, Wogan's on.
All right, so the kids are like, the little kids are off to bed now.
Yeah.
Right. It's time for Wogan. This is Friday night, mind.
Yeah, Friday night.
So this is a big night. Kids have gone to sleep. Or you're not going to the pub tonight. It's time for Wogan. Go for it.
Wogan. So Wogan's on. He was talking about the Eurovision Song Contest and the usual thing. They didn't have any big guests on the night, I checked. But Wogan's there for 45 minutes just chatting to you.
Yeah.
About rubbish. 7:45, a low.
I'm not going to lie. If Wogan was on this Friday, I probably would chuck Wogan on.
It'd be a replay, though, wouldn't it? Because he's dead.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, if he was around still and he did a show on a Friday, I would probably put it on.
But would you want serious Wogan, or would you want like Wogan who did like the Eurovision?
Well, if it's Eurovision, then it's racist Wogan, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, like,
we don't want racist Wogan.
We don't want racist Wogan.
We'll take silly Wogan.
It's like the one night of the year where apparently it's okay for like presenters to be racist. Yeah, no, I'd want, a bit of both. He can be a bit comedic and a bit serious. Wogan, it's good balance. Sorry, what did you say was after that?
A low.
Oh, nice, okay.
With Rene. Rene was in a bit of spot of bother.
Uh-huh.
Like, someone had accused him of taking that. I think the picture of the Madonna with the big boobies.
Oh,
something along those lines, but the Gestapo were after him. Everyone was after him. The Italians were helping him. The English were chasing him, but he probably kissed like 2 different women.
Of course.
His wife didn't see. Ended the episode.
Excellent. Got away with it again.
Fond memories of Hello.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's up there. It was a good show. Imagine if you watched it today, though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those shows have not aged particularly well.
Yeah, like how they represented the Germans and the...
Pretty much. I mean, a lot of those shows, I think, they are of their time, and nowadays, yeah, for sure.
So then we got 10:08, Wicker's World with Alan Wicker. When Alan Wicker used to travel the world, just show you things. how people live.
I don't remember that.
Do you not?
No.
He looked like a younger version of the Colonel from KFC. They could be related.
Okay.
I'll have to
That
Google
sounds
that.
great. So
But-
Colonel Sanders goes around the world.
Yeah.
And
Just showing you stuff that you can't afford to do.
right.
Well, they used to do, like, you could do
I
this.
thought like Annika Rice did that.
Did
Was
she
that
do
later?
She
I know
must-
she did challenge Annika, but
Yeah.
didn't she do a show where she went around the world looking at stuff? She probably did more exciting stuff though.
Yeah, then like he did, he's probably looking at parrots. This is a parrot. It's like, I've seen a parrot in a zoo. Like,
Oh.
this is never a parrot. It's like, oh, just get on with it.
It's better than watching the news though.
Oh yeah, because guess what's up next?
The 8 o'clock news.
No, the 9 o'clock news now.
Oh,
So
the
we're-
9 o'clock news.
we're on
Okay.
the 9 o'clock news now.
We've made it.
So we made it.
God, I bet you're glad you didn't go to the pub now.
Yeah, and that was the last news of the day. So now we're hitting it.
Right.
9:30 is a film called Justice Game 2. Couldn't
Right.
find much about it on Google.
No.
I wouldn't need to see Justice Game 1 to really appreciate it.
Well, who knows? I mean, maybe it's one of those, if Justice Game is a trilogy, maybe like The Godfather, Part 2 is a flashback.
Yeah,
You know, you never know.
you never know.
We'll have to look into that.
After that, Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. Have you ever seen Tootsie?
I don't know.
It's the one where he's an actor, but he's a bit of a big head, and he ends up dressing up as a woman. It's a bit like not a modern day, like a bit like before, like Robin Williams did with Miss Doubtfire.
Okay.
So he becomes like a character on a show.
I
He's
don't
an
think
actor
I've
playing
seen
a
it.
character on a show, but he's playing like a female character, and she becomes beloved, and everyone thinks she's amazing.
Right.
I think by the end of it, it's the
Do they not know?
They don't know until
Right.
the end, until he
Okay.
takes the mask off, and like, it's me.
It was
Dustin-
me all along, Austin.
Yeah, it's Dustin Hoffman all along. So he's doing that there, and then we've got a bit of cricket.
Great.
Yeah, for half an hour,
Right.
which would be boring. Then it ends on the weather at 1:45.
Oh, would that have been like live if that was in Australia or something?
no, it's just half hour highlights
Oh, just
of
highlights.
the
Okay.
Ashes. So then it's just done. You get the weather at the end for like 5 minutes, and then there's nothing on TV probably between 1 and 6.
I can see why people drunk more in the 90s.
I know, like
Jesus.
that wouldn't be acceptable these days, would it? You wouldn't get away
That
with that.
sounds like the most boring night of TV I've ever heard.
Yeah.
A boring day of TV.
I am definitely doing ITV next month or Channel 4 because BBC are boring.
Yeah. Actually, next month, yeah, do a different channel.
Yeah, I went Channel with something exciting.
we got to wait for Channel 5 to come along so
Yeah,
that we can
Channel
do all the
5.
trash.
Channel 5. Is that mid-90s?
Yeah, it's got to be
This
mid
was-
to late 90s, like
yeah.
96, I want to say, something like that.
Bit of Spice Girls action going on there. Right, I've got a bit of soaps update and I've got a bit of a confession.
Okay,
I'll give you the confession. Do you know we've been doing Neighbours for the last 2 months?
we have been, yeah.
I think I got the timeline mixed up. So I found another website with like the UK and the Australian dates.
Right.
And I think I've given away the future of Neighbours.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to restart Neighbours next
Okay,
month. with
fine.
April 1990 Neighbours. It's got like Henry in it and Bronwyn.
Oh,
Mrs. Mangle's still mentioned. So
still around.
I got really confused. Like, I thought Mrs. Mangle's left.
It is difficult to get specifically UK because I
Yeah.
struggle with this with video games. That's why the video game list
Yeah.
is very short because I'm like, did this come out in the UK
Yeah.
or are we talking about the US? So I've got a kind of combination of the two now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So we'll hit EastEnders instead. So
yeah.
it's a big month for EastEnders. We're talking March 1990. Ian Bill is having a 21st birthday party.
Wow.
Ian Bill is 21.
Yeah. What
What's
is he
he
now?
now?
Like pushing 70?
That'd be like, what, 1990s? That's 10 years, 33 years ago.
Yeah.
So
No.
he'd be 54,
Is he that young? I thought he looks older than that. He is-
54 in the soap. He's older than 54, isn't he?
I would have thought so. Maybe he's older than 21.
actor is, yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
The actor is. But Cindy, who was his girlfriend at the time, Cindy Bill,
Mm.
apparently is coming back into it 30 odd years later as well,
Wow.
even though she's dead. I don't know what's
that
happening
doesn't
there.
stop him, does it?
She booked him a party at the community centre. Guess what? It's been double booked by someone called Mo. And the caterers have also loaded down. So what has he done? Obviously, his mum owns a cafe.
Yeah.
So they're having a fancy. So they say, "Oh, I'll tell you what. Instead of going to the cafe, they're just going to have a fancy meal at Pauline's house for your 21st birthday."
Brilliant. I always like in EastEnders when is it EastEnders with the Nag's Head, and they just constantly go.
No,
to,
that's Nag's Head.
is that
Only
that's
Fools,
Falls, isn't it? Sorry.
The
Whatever
Queen Vic.
the Queen Vic, right? They literally do everything there,
Yeah,
and it's like why? Like, is there no? They're in London, right?
Yeah.
That's the point.
there's multiple pubs.
I'm like there is more. I have been to London. There is definitely more than one.
there's at least
pub.
2 pubs, isn't there? in
There's at
London?
least 2 pubs in London. It's quite big.
Yeah. So
And I don't get it. They're like, oh, we're getting married. Oh, do it at Queen Vic.
yeah,
Like, really?
Yeah,
Our
go.
wedding.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Everyone does. They get the piano out, get the
Yeah.
tunes.
So
playing.
anyway, so we went for a lovely meal at
Yeah.
someone else's house.
Yeah.
Exciting
that was
times.
it. This is 21st.
21st. That's his 21st birthday. No wonder he's depressed.
Yeah, no wonder we ran a chip shop in the end. So going back to
He's like, well, I can't rely on caterers. I will become the caterer. Chips for everyone.
I'll do your wedding.
Yeah.
You got a wedding, we'll do it at the Queen Vic. I'll do your food. So we got those Mitchell brothers are back up to mischief after we introduced them last month.
Well, they turned up in style last month. So.
Yeah. So like Phil.
This is where we start getting into the real gangstery shit, right?
Yeah. This is
when they turn up.
So Phil Mitchell, being all good old Phil, chats up Julie in the Queen Vic. I think she's a barmaid.
Probably drunk.
Yeah, she agrees to meet him for a date the next night. But you know what? Grant gets wind of it. Tells her that Phil can't make the date, unfortunately, but does she want to go out with him? So he takes Julie out on a date.
Wow, that's brothers.
Yeah, that's how he's doing. So they spend the evening together.
Right.
You know what I like. But then, do you remember Dot? Obviously,
Who can forget Dot?
Friends with Ethel. Do you know what Dot's done? She's only going to won £10,000 on the Walford Gazette bingo.
Wow. £10,000 on bingo.
Yeah, which is
that's pretty impressive.
In 1990, which are
that's
it's like 2.5 billion now.
yeah, she's a billionaire.
But you know when
she just spent it all on fags. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Cigarettes if you're in the US.
Yeah, and like obviously if you know what happens when Dot's got some money, who comes looking? But her son, Nasty Nick, turns up. Dot, who's
I
now
forgot about Nasty Nick.
Yeah. So Dot obviously has got her £10,000. He's turned up. She asks him why he's back, and he says, "I'm out of prison and I found Jesus."
Great, that's gonna last.
Yeah, she doesn't believe him. She's like,
she's
no.
probably right.
So he gets a vicar to come around and go, "Yeah, he has found Jesus." And then she then believes him, but then she feels really guilty about winning money because everyone's sending her begging letters. So she sends them money to everybody, like £10, £5 here, £10 there. So she doesn't enjoy her money.
Oh no!
Someone who could do with her money is Sharon.
Yeah.
Something's happened to Sharon. Right, Sharon has had her washing machine repossessed because she's not paid her credit card bill. But you know who comes to save her and gets her the washing machine back? Phil and Grant to the rescue.
Of course.
They take it out of the back of the van, give it back, but the guy's repossessed it's gone, "Oi, I'm not standing for this," so he smashed the mirror of Phil's Porsche.
Oh, that is trouble.
The one from last month that
he turned up in, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, like we go back to the Fowlers. Pete used to run the sort of fruit and vegetable thing. Wants to buy Pauline out of her share. So how much would you reckon he's going to buy her out of her share for a profitable fruit and vegetable March 1990? What would be a reasonable figure?
How much money has Dot Cotton got left?
Well, Dot Cotton's, I probably don't know. She spent it all, I think, eventually.
Oh, okay, so he can't borrow any money off her to pay to buy her
so
out.
He's got a bank loan for it.
Oh, he's got a bank loan. Okay. Yeah. So it's a fruit and veg store.
Yeah, very profitable because there was always people buying stuff.
Yeah, this is London Market.
The East End as well. Apple and
I
pears.
don't know, a couple of grand.
3.5.
All right, yeah, that seems fair.
And they take it.
Right.
I don't know what they spend it on. I don't think they spend it on anything exciting, but they got 3.5 grand. Isn't that what we're going to get to?
What's the deal with market stores? Can you not just set up your own?
I don't know. I think it's a family market store for the left down from generation to generation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is our stall. You can't have it.
Fair enough.
He's also a bit upset as well because he used to store all his equipment in the Arches.
Yeah.
But you know who's bought the Arches? The Mitchell brothers.
Oh no.
So he's really upset with the Mitchell brothers. So he's not happy at all.
Fair enough.
And then he spent 3.5 grand. And then we go back to what you were discussing. Frank, as part of these flashback episodes,
yeah,
goes to find Diane at the
King's Cross Station. Yeah,
yeah, but you can't see her, but she's looking at him from the corner. And we then have some flashback episodes with her, with all the friends she's met on the street. She eventually comes back and settles things.
Apparently, the actress did research with real homeless people.
Slept on the street, apparently.
Yeah.
So that,
at least that's what the publicist said.
yeah. That concludes EastEnders. So what we'll do now, we're going to move on to Kari.
All right.
Which is really pumping this time.
I didn't plan that, by the way. If you're watching that on YouTube,
it's
it's just an automatic slide, but it actually came up with Coronation Street as you said that just then.
Right, Ken and Deirdre,
not
getting on because Ken's had an affair with Wendy.
I mean, that'll do it, wouldn't it? If you want to upset someone,
not happy at all. But obviously, they got a daughter together, Tracy. Well, I didn't realise it's not actually Ken's daughter. He adopted her, but she wants to see. But Tracy wants to see Ken because it's her dad.
Yeah.
But Deirdre's like, no, you can't do that. You cannot go around there. Reluctantly gives in. So he turns up to collect her. Do you know who's got in the car? He's got Wendy in the car, his mistress.
Wow.
Yeah, so she goes mental.
What a piece of shit.
I know, but then they spent the whole month doing a boring storyline ever. You've got Ken gets fired from the paper because they don't want to write his articles, and he goes over his boss's head. And his boss then gives all his stories to the lady he's having an affair with. Deirdre goes away on a conference, and I get sort of Tracy to be looked after by the neighbours. Tracy does a runner. Ken comes down and goes, "No, she's not coming back. She's my daughter." So Tracy has Deirdre has to come back, grab her, but they make up by the end of it.
Of course.
It sounds shit, doesn't it?
It does. Meanwhile, on Emmerdale, they're just farming.
Yeah, I looked at Emmerdale.
Still farming.
I looked at Emmerdale.
I'm waiting for the plane crash, to be honest with you.
The highlights of Emmerdale was, I didn't do, that's why I only got one thing. Jack bikes a motorbike. That was it.
There is.
And then
There's your highlights
you
for
got
March.
things about people not liking each other, or like someone's like going to go to university.
Feed the sheep.
Yeah, what's that about? I've not done Brookside because I've not really got much Brookside information.
Brookside is boring as fuck right now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this. My mum and dad apparently the people who created Brookside said they would never do repeats, right?
Yeah.
Now apparently some of the cast died young.
Yeah.
And so people petitioned online, the creator of the show, and said, look, some of these actors and actresses, like, their families will never see their work if you don't repeat the show to allow people to see it. So they've done that now, and he's put them on, and apparently it's like 5 episodes a week are going online on some UK TV thing, right? So my mum and dad are watching it. They've said it is boring as shit. The early stuff, because late stuff is terrible. Yeah. The middle stuff's all right. Yeah. But right now, 1990, I think it's probably quite boring.
I've realised I got some ever cracking Coronation Street news.
Oh, go on.
That I misplaced because it's dropped down my my notes here. Mike Baldwin, Mike Baldwin. He's lost a lot of money recently after the last couple of months' news. So he's getting rid of the factory. He's going to get rid of the flat. So he's taking a job as a salesman. Right. But he's telling everyone he's not a salesman. He's a partner of the guy who runs it.
Oh, that's a lie that's going to come out.
It does. It comes out in the pub. And
I knew it was going to be at the pub.
Yeah. Do you remember Percy? I think he's a really old man, a bit of a busybody. He used to live with Emily.
Right, I'm not sure.
Percy he used to go around just being a busybody, telling people. He used to be a lollipop man.
Okay.
So he falls over on a zebra crossing.
Oh no!
Breaks a bone in his body, but he's got the lady.
A bone. We don't know which bone.
I think it's his leg. Breaks his leg. So he has to go in a wheelchair. There's a lady there called Phyllis who fancies Percy. Right. She had a bit of a graspy voice. I always remember that. Always trying to impress Percy, but he wouldn't have any of it because she's not his type. So she starts taking him everywhere. Starts pushing him around.
Taking advantage of his...
Pushes him around in his wheelchair.
Right.
Gets to the stage when he keeps running over Alec Baldwin's... Not Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
No, Alec Baldwin from International Hollywood Star. Or Alec Gilroy from the pub. Right. Keeps runs over his 3 times.
Wow, that's rude.
In a week. In his wheelchair. So he gets banned from the pub, then everyone complains he comes back to the pub.
It's not Percy's fault though, he's getting pushed around.
No. So to make up for Percy, he lets Jack have the afternoon off so he can push him around and go see everywhere. Jack leaves outside the bookies and goes puts a bet on.
He's not a dog.
He did. There. And so then Percy gets really angry with Phyllis because she's not looking after him. So she pushes him down the hill.
The woman that he never appreciated or showed any respect to.
So he pushes him down the hill as he calls her mutton dressed as lamb.
What, does he break more bones?
No, just like he's flying down the hill.
That's hilarious.
And then we got the best bit, like Kev and Sally. I remember Kev with his big moustache.
Yeah.
They're neighbours with Des and Steph, who are a younger couple, probably considered yuppies at this time.
Uh-huh.
They like to drink, and they want to go partying with Sally and Kev. Sally's up for it, but Kev's a bit boring, so he's like, no. So initially they meet in a pub, and they got a little bet going on with Steph and Des that they're going to wind up Kevin. So she keeps rubbing his leg when Sally's not looking. They have a party, which Kev goes to. And she shaves off that famous moustache.
Oh my goodness!
The big moustache.
I remember the moustache. Yeah, it's like when Kurt Angle lost his hair in WWF.
Yeah, balding Kurt Angle. Yeah,
see, it never grows back.
Never grows back.
So that's the rule.
Sally thinks he's having an affair. He's like, no, she just shaved off my moustache. So Des lost the bet. Do you know what Des has to do? Has to turn up at the pub in his pants.
Right,
and then he gets barred.
Wow, that's underwear for Americans.
Yeah, not your trousers. So that
he has to turn up in his trousers. Americans listening will just be like, so usually you just turn up in your underwear, and like the bet was he has to wear clothes.
Yeah. So that was it. So soaps this month, like, they aren't very exciting. There's not much going on.
I'll tell you what is exciting.
What?
The wrestling.
Should we hit the
Because
wrestling?
we are gearing up. Well, it's TV, right? Because we're gearing up. WrestleMania next month. We have all of the cracktastic interviews here, which is weird because I always remember the famous, infamous Ultimate Warrior Crash to playing Hulk Hogan,
which I've got the full transcript, which I'm going to read out.
Fantastic. However, before you
lead me in.
Well, the only thing I want to say is that is cracktastic.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten until today when I watched this how cracktastic also Hulk Hogan's ones are. I mean, they're not that bad, but they are pretty bad. He's talking about what would happen if I slip on a banana peel and don't make it to WrestleMania. Can I rely on you? And yeah, he's like, he's talking about how he doesn't know if Ultimate Warrior is a good guy or a bad guy, and he's like, what would happen if I slip on a banana peel? And you would you have my back? And like, what are you talking about, Hogan? And he's talking about his demandments. Is that what he calls them? The 3 demandments. Take your prayers, prayers and vitamins.
Do your prayers, eat your vitamins, drink
That's
milk.
the demandments, the 3 demandments. But he's quite often talking to like the site off camera, and it's like they're all mental. Like Warrior was the most, but I'd forgotten how bad some of Hogan's promos are as well.
There is that face-to-face promo where they're like sat opposite the chair on the table, but on a side angle. Yeah. Every time one of them is speaking, it's like you're looking at it from the other person's face. Yeah.
It's like first person whenever they speak. Bizarre. Anyway, so Ultimate Warrior. So Hogan does the "What if I slipped on a banana peel" promo, and then Ultimate Warrior later in the month comes out with this.
Right. This is going to take several attempts. I'm going to mess this up. Ready?
It is absolutely nonsensical. So
okay, he snorts a lot. So when he snorts, I'm going to say snorts rather than snorting myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ready? Snorts. Hulk Hogan snorts. I have a question. To answer your question, snorts again. One more snort. As you, Hulk Hogan, travel to WrestleMania by conventional means, normals. This is where it goes crazy. Normals you travel would experience malfunctions. As you realise that all that is left is a total self-destruction. Do you, Hulk Hogan, show self-pity? Do you, Hulk Hogan, try to reason why? Do you, Hulk Hogan, try and comfort the normals that are even more failed than you? Do you, Hulk Hogan, kick the doors down, kick the cockpit door down, take the 2 pilots that have already made the sacrifice so you can face this challenge? That's the best bit, isn't it? Dispose of them, Hulk Hogan. Assume the controls, Hulk Hogan. Shove that control into a nosedive, Hulk Hogan. Push yourself into a total self-destruction. As you realise, Hulk Hogan, you're about to enter a world close to parts unknown, which is Ultimate Warrior's home. I smell it, Warriors. Do you, Hulk Hogan, look for a place to hide, or do you, Hulk Hogan, face the challenge? That'd be made powerful. Start again. That'd be made more powerful than you, Hulk Hogan. And he keeps saying Hulk Hogan over and over again.
Yeah, he does say it a lot, like every line.
Hulk Hogan, you must self-destruct so that you would know, Hulk Hogan, the chosen one. For Hulk Hogan, I am the chosen one. That you may speak of, I am not Hulk Hogan, I am the only one. Snorts loudly and vigorously. I think he was on drugs, and I'm just saying he was.
I think they were both on not just steroids, but many other drugs.
Yes, happy drugs like
crack.
Yeah, and that's my highlight for the entire.
I like that. Not only is he suggesting that Hulk Hogan, it's not enough that he's like, kill yourself, Hulk Hogan. He's also like, kill these innocent pilots as well.
Yeah.
Like, kill kill everyone on a plane to kill yourself, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. There's a lot of innocent victims, like, and Hogan's got to take the blame. It was Warrior's fault.
Well, Warrior said it on national TV.
Yeah.
Crash a plane.
Do you reckon they do that these days? I know we had the Attitude.
What, you crashing a plane, please?
I know we had the Attitude Era. I saw a clip from the Attitude Era earlier, and I just
imagine if that happened though. If that plane actually crashed, then like just accidentally, it'd be really awkward.
There was no internet back then, so no one would know about it.
That's true.
If the spirit never happened, it was like, yeah, this was an illusion.
They just delete the tape.
Forget about this. It's gone.
So it's the build up to Mania, which next month is going to be dominated by WrestleMania talk. But I'd forgotten how many promos there were.
Loads.
This month is nothing but promos from every wrestler.
And every match. And
someone's put together a compilation on YouTube of March 1990 in WWF. And it's like 90% promos. It's talk after talk after talk. And they're all doing... And it's not like in-ring promo.
It's the box promo in the corner.
It's all TV promo. It's all like backstage interview. They do like Brother Love show is one of them. But then the rest are just like Mean Gene on camera. They're talking at the camera. It goes on for ages.
It got even worse, didn't it? But like, I probably still watch that, to be honest.
Oh, it was entertaining. I watched quite a bit of it earlier.
Big Boss Man was there.
Boss Man. He's going up against Hakeem, right?
The African Dream.
He is, yeah.
And you got was it the Demolition against Haku and Andre the Giant?
Yeah, which is like
the two craziest men in the world. Haku's and like the legend.
And Andre is terrifying.
Yeah,
Andre's weird, man. When you look at Andre, like he is. It's not because obviously he had giantism, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's just tall. He's just
wide.
Massive. Like his hands, his head, he is a literal giant.
And he has like a really long torso, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
crazy long. Like
and he makes Haku look tiny.
Yeah,
which is bizarre because Haku has got to be 6 foot something, I would imagine.
Muscly and
it's terrifying. He looks giant over giant people.
And there's no way, so I'm not going to ruin spoilers for next month, but we'll talk about that next month.
Yeah, we'll get to that next month. They're part of the Colossal Connection, I think they're called at this point.
Yeah.
And obviously the family, the Heenan family. Yeah, it's
promo. I did have a look. It's like, this person turns up, the Earthquake's there, Dino Bravo's turning up. I was like, all lining up for the matches at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Hulk Hogan said, he also said in his promo that they could have had WrestleMania already.
When?
He just says, like, we could have had WrestleMania already, but you're such a piece of shit, Ultimate Warrior, that we have to do it at WrestleMania. Oh. It's such a bad promo, and this is what was amazing because I think the badness, which is a word, the badness of the Ultimate Warrior promo has overshadowed the badness of the Hulk Hogan promos, and until
no one talks about it.
Yeah, no one talks about it, but they're equal. They are all terrible.
Oh man, good old Warrior.
Good old Warrior.
I think we get about a year's worth of chat from the Warrior from now on, don't we? Until he disappears.
Yeah, he goes back to parts unknown after a year or so.
Oh, then he comes back. That's spoilers.
Yeah, I think his plane crashed in parts unknown, which is why he disappeared for so long.
Do you know who crashed his plane?
The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Yeah. Oh, he was around then, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was around then, yeah.
Yeah. Probably look after the Honky Tonk Man, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Honky Tonk Man is around at the moment.
Yeah, he's around. He's around with someone else.
Greg Valentine.
Yeah.
That's all I've got for wrestling.
It's the build-up, right? So that's all I've got. We're just getting prepared for next month, which is going to be the WrestleMania of my childhood.
Yeah.
It's the big one for me.
It is.
So let's move on. Shall we do some films?
Yeah, let's do some films.
I want to talk about some films. So we have some quite big films come out in March 1990. I have a question as to whether one of them might not be in the UK.
All right. Is that the one with the question mark?
That is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I didn't pick that up at all on anything.
So I think that might be a US release, not a UK.
Yeah. Right.
But Glory, one of the best Civil War movies.
I don't think I've seen that. Who's in that?
Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah, now I can see the picture on the screen.
There you go. Literally that picture. This is timed really well today by accident.
Yeah. So I do recognise that film, actually,
Yeah. You've probably seen pictures of it, if not. Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah, based on true story. And one of the not underrated, but it doesn't get a lot of talk when you talk about Tom Cruise movies, because it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, the film got 2 Oscars as well.
Yeah.
So that's quite big, thing back then to have a film with Tom Cruise getting an Oscar.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done it since. Probably, I don't know. What's he been in? I just think of really bad action films that are good with Tom Cruise now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess after this, so he's already done Top Gun. He's already done Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
So I guess after this, I'm trying to think, what would he have done after this? Obviously Mission Impossible is 96-ish, right?
Yeah.
The first Mission Impossible. So he's got quite a few years. He must do some stuff between now and then. I don't know. We'll find out eventually in the fullness of time. We also have Too Beautiful for You. The Fabulous Baker Boys.
Yeah, I had a little look at that. It's the first time ever that Jeff and Beau Bridges appeared in a film together.
Well, there you go.
They're actually brothers.
Yeah.
It's a story of 2 struggling musicians that happen to be brothers. And they're real brothers because they're brothers.
Yeah.
They team up with a beautiful...
who looks like Jeff Bridges? Who would look like Jeff Bridges' brother? His brother.
Beau Bridges.
Good plan.
That works. They team up with a beautiful up-and-coming singer. And I think they argue a lot over her.
Of course.
Probably has a happy ending, so we don't need to go into that.
No. The War of the Roses.
Yep. That's got Michael Douglas in.
Yeah,
Is it Catherine Turner? Is it Catherine Turner?
I think so.
Yeah, they teamed up a lot in the films in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So they were in like the all those like, action ones with Danny DeVito as well, weren't they?
Yeah.
Jordan and Niall, ones like that.
In fact, isn't Danny DeVito in that?
He's probably in this as well.
I think he's in War of the Roses.
I think he's a lawyer.
Yeah. Shadow Makers.
Well, yeah, tell me about it. I know nothing.
I have no
about
idea.
that.
I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it. Dad, Rude Awakening.
Isn't that Rick Rude's finisher move?
That's exactly what it is. It's the film of the move. And then the two big ones.
Let's go with Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. I've got fond memories of that
Part
film.
1.
I have not watched it for a long time.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of Weekend at Bernie's. Basically, the plot is...
I'm sure everyone's heard of it.
The plot to Weekend at Bernie's is quite a bit of a weird one. But Larry and Richard work at Bernie's office, get invited to go and like hang out with Bernie. Bernie's been cooking the books.
Yeah.
He's about to a few people. So he invites him to spend Labour Day with him at his posh Hamptons beach house. However, he has ulterior motives. We never get to those because Bernie ends up dead by the mob for his sins. And his two friends, Larry and Richard, are a bit of a crossroads. Do they report Bernie's death or keep it from the authorities to avoid implications? Or do they have a good time and party? Involves them taking Bernie around everywhere they go with sunglasses and a hat on and mimicking that he's alive and getting into various comedy situations. That's my memories from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, that's pretty much Weekend at Bernie's.
I know that Weekend at Bernie's 2, I hope it's the same weekend because otherwise his corpse is going to smell.
Fortnight at Bernie's.
Yeah. See you next weekend, Bernie. So that didn't win any Oscars. But...
Maybe Weekend at Bernie's Part 2 is the Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Because if it's Part 2, it's Part 2 of the weekend.
The day after.
Yeah.
He's still going to smell of it, though, if he's been gone a couple of days.
It depends, yeah. If it's in the summer, it's going to be
a beach, isn't it? It's going to be, yeah.
It's going to be pretty awful.
Yeah, whoever thought that was a good idea for a film?
I don't know. I remember enjoying it at the time. So
do you reckon they got like a film generator and they just like press the button and like, this comes up, 2 men. This comes up, a dead person. This comes up, party. Like, we'll put that as a film. Let's write that film.
There you go.
That
Nowadays, they just probably chuck that into Chat GTP and that's what you get.
I might do that. Like, put that to Chat GPT and see what comes back.
Right, Weekend at Bernie's 3.
Free, yeah.
Just tell Chat GPT. Why can I not say it?
I can't say it as well. Chat GPT.
Tango and Cash comes out.
Yeah.
And I love Tango and Cash.
It's a great film.
We have Tango.
Which one's Tango?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, you got it. And obviously Cash is Russell.
Yeah, and Cash is Russell. Now, they're two cops, very different cops.
Yeah.
Tango is very serious, well-dressed, smart. Wears a suit, sharp. And then, of course, you've got Cash, who is just Kurt Russell.
Yeah, being Kurt Russell.
Just Kurt Russell being Kurt Russell. They get they get framed.
Yeah.
And sent to prison. They have to clear their name, but they don't get on, so they have to team up. It is a classic buddy cop nonsense action movie, and I love it.
And they got great names in it as well. Ray, so it's Ray Tango.
Yeah.
And Gabe Cash.
Yeah.
Who's called Gabe?
Oh, just this character.
Well, we'll just call him Gary Cash.
Gary
if
Cash.
It was English,
Gareth Cash.
Ray,
if he was from Wales, it would be Gareth Cash.
Yeah.
Gareth Cash.
I'm pretty sure these are my memories because I've not seen Tango and Cash for a while. But then they like drive a monster truck. They escape from prison,
they do. They have that big fight scene escaping from prison, which is awesome.
And do they dress up as women, or is that like another film?
No, that's this film.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's this.
I'm pretty sure
it is. It's been a while. I'm going to rewatch that soon.
Yeah.
I got it on DVD.
That'd be the weekend film, Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
That was when like Stallone was still hitting them out.
Oh yeah, this is 1990. Stallone is still
We've not reached Stop on My Mother's Shoot yet, have we?
91. I want to say that's 91.
That's when it goes.
Oh, is that right? I'm gonna have to look that up in a minute.
And obviously, I got that right. We got like Rocky 5. I think it was 91 or 92 or 1990.
Yeah, we're post good Rocky, and obviously we've got Rambo 3 coming up, haven't we?
Is that
no, Rambo 3's already happened.
Yeah, 89, isn't it, Rambo 3?
Yeah. He's kind of on the cusp of a decline, isn't he, actually? No. We're not quite at daylight yet, but Judge Dredd is coming up in 94 or something. So,
but then he did Demolition Man, which was good.
Demolition Man is superb.
Yeah.
Love Demolition Man. I rewatched that not so long ago.
Did you?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Does it live up?
Yeah, it's still really fun. Yeah.
It's still funny, like with the credits and the...
Yeah, it's still good. It's still good.
That's what.
And it kind of works, with the way society's going and things like, it's kind of like, it's kind of interesting.
Why couldn't Dread be more like that?
Well, Dread, I've always said, Judge Dredd, and we'll get to it because we will eventually, assuming we live long enough, we will get to this movie actually releasing. I've always said I think they did a wonderful visual representation of Dredd's world. They did it better than Dredd did in 2011 or whenever that came out. But it's just everything else. Like, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it was Stallone's ego. I'm guessing it was Stallone's ego. They were like, have to take the helmet off. I have to,
He never takes his helmet off, does he, Dredd?
And they give him catchphrases and stuff. And like, it's just not, It's just not.
Would it, though, be the worst film of that generation, or would it be worse?
Oh, no, it's not the worst.
Is it worse than Street Fighter movie?
Street Fighter movie's way worse. Way worse.
That is awful, isn't it?
That's another one we'll get to in the later into the 90s.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, the other thing I was thinking about, when I was doing my research on Coronation Street, I was looking for that picture of Ken Barlow to send to you. Put Ken Barlow into Google, scrolling down for the perfect picture, and they got to this page and it says, Ken Barlow, obviously the actor William Roach, slept with 1,000 women.
Sorry, the actor slept with 1,000 women.
Yeah, can you believe
that?
Not
Ken Barlow.
Not Ken Barlow, no.
Right.
He was quite close.
Because that'd be amazing.
Apart from when he cheated on Deirdre, he was quite close.
He was very busy during that time.
Yeah,
slept
he
with
would have been
1,000 women while he was cheating on Deirdre.
All I can remember from the 90s, it was just full of like really bad news like that. It'd be like Ken Barlow doing this, and it was like words like bonk and romp.
Yeah,
but you never see like romp anymore. Or
no,
bonk.
those are very Britishy words. That have just disappeared.
And like it'd always be like the news of the world on a Sunday would have a bit of a scandal, and it was like the reporter made his excuses and left.
Yeah,
yeah. I know news of the world is what they did, so we don't talk about them. But
no.
I miss that part. Like,
I miss TV, man. I do. I was saying this the other day. Excuse me. It's not the same anymore.
No.
Because I don't watch now that we've got streaming services.
Yeah.
We're kind of spoiled because we've got all of this stuff and it's a second away.
And you do it when you want to do it.
You do it when you want to do it, and you binge it, and you don't. I do kind of like it now that some streaming sites have a TV option where they will just put programming on, because that's how you used to find stuff back in the day. Apparently, all you fucking found it Friday night on BBC is the news. But
how was that?
If you're on a different channel, was BBC 2's around right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
1990. So maybe that's why. Maybe BBC One. They're like, well, BBC 2's got all the other stuff.
It's got the Mary Whitehouse experience. You can have that.
Yeah.
And all the really funny comedy that probably. I don't know when Dragon Red Dwarf comes out. Well, that'll be soon.
Yeah, that's early. Yeah, that'll be pretty soon. I would have thought.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of video games.
Hit me with the video games. What we got?
One of them is American. We have Alex Kidd in Shinobi World.
Oh, I've actually played that.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's basically Shinobi, but with Alex Kidd. It's great. It's like cutesy Shinobi. Good fun. Ghouls and Ghosts on the Master System. Of course, you played that. And Solomon's Key is out on the NES, but obviously that's,
I've seen footage of that from seeing so many
like puzzle platformer.
Yeah, so many retro game videos on like YouTube. People collected that. I've probably seen that. That's the only time I've ever seen that. Go back to Alex Kidd. That was a freebie on a Master System as well, wasn't it?
Alex Kidd in Miracle World is on the Master System too.
Yeah.
But Shinobi World was not. I don't think that was a pack-in.
No.
There was because wasn't Alex Kidd. So there's Alex Kidd in Miracle World. There's also the other Alex Kidd game, which was on Mega Drive, was it?
Yeah.
And then Shinobi World here on the Master System as well. Shinobi World's really good.
Yeah. Is that actually Shinobi where Shinobi's from?
Yeah, there's.
So like, so when Alex Kidd was like,
I think Alex Kidd was always in a world, so they just called it.
But like, I can't imagine he survived real life in Shinobi World because Shinobi's got ninjas.
Well, he's a ninja in it though, isn't he? Alex Kidd.
Is he?
He becomes a ninja. So,
right.
My favorite Alex Kidd is Miracle World.
I think Alex Kidd, he was a bit of like a, I don't know, he wasn't really that hardcore, was he? He went like one.
Well, he wasn't. I mean, that was their hope, was that he would be he was the mascot for a year or so, and then they were like, "Oh, here's Sonic." Yeah,
Sonic's here. Go away, Alex Kidd. You're too slow. I remember Wonder Boy. I thought Wonder Boy was a good game.
Wonder Boy was great. Yeah. And Adventure Island when they rebranded it. For a lot of the games over here. Really good.
Some good games. Obviously, as the year goes on.
Oh, we'll get to like Mario
to
3, and we'll get the Mega Drive, and there's some big hitters coming up.
Golden Axe.
We're just getting started.
I know.
This year is getting. I feel like as much fun as it's been, we've done the dud months now, and we're getting towards the exciting stuff of the 90s now. We're getting into it, Nick.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Next month is WrestleMania. Can't wait.
I actually want to record that really soon, so I think
I'm ready when you are.
I think we'll probably have 2 episodes out within weeks of each other.
Probably, yeah, because we're excited now. We're ready for this. Yeah. So yeah. Well, that's all I've got to say on March of 1990. Anything from you?
I think I'm done. We've done TV. No one famous died. I checked.
I didn't check. I was starting to find that a bit depressing.
Yeah.
Because the problem with doing it is I was like, well, I don't want to just do the deaths because that's depressing. So to make it better, I'll also do the births. But then you realise that a lot of the people that were born are also dead, and then it's just really depressing. I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. We'll just focus on the positives.
I can't think of any books or anything like that. No books.
No, nothing massive. I think we'll cover books as big things come out, but in general. So that is it for March of 1990. We will be back next time.
WrestleMania month.
Also known as April of 1990. Yes, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will catch you.
We'll speak to you soon. Good night.
Good night.